And so lofty goals for our governor, and want to kind of bring things home here to our region. And so I have a few slides to just kind of underscore things from a macro perspective and looking at our county. When we see here, back in 2006 is the last time that we were able to meet the 11,000 permits that we need as a county. So what's the recipe for being 9th out of 58 counties? We're in the top 10 as a county in household overcrowding. That means more than one person per room. That's not a top 10 list that we want to be on as a county, and part of the reason why we have that happening is people are just not having as many options to live, and so we're seeing 3 to 4 families live in one household, and this big gap is the recipe for that household overcrowding, where it just continues to compound. Now, we saw this permit spike in 17, but unfortunately we dipped down to 24% roughly last year. So we're still optimistic, I think, as an industry that we would see at least this many permits. But again, when we look at countywide, 69,000 homes shortage countywide is what we're on pace for. That is a missed opportunity economically, as well as the study also indicated that 69,000 shortage equates to roughly $2 billion in missed economic opportunity. When you think of a home being built, that's 7 new jobs that are being brought into a region. So great opportunity. We like to say that the best economic development strategy for a city is meeting arena numbers. And I know we're in the midst of that process now, and we want to, as a BIA, help you meet those goals. And with the governor that we have is, this governor is not saying, let's just put arena number, regional housing needs, and that assessment number that's based on zoning. And so we'll just see how things work out in 7 years. This new governor is saying, and we want to keep cities accountable for seeing homes come to fruition. And whether it's the carrot or more likely the stick, that's yet to be seen. However, there's a new sheriff in town, and it's not business as usual anymore. So all the more reason we want to partner with you and be part of the solution to meet those arena numbers that each of you are working on as a city throughout this region. Again, housing permits were down 27%, and when we look at roughly the first couple of months so far, we're up 10%. So that's a good sign so far for our region. And looking at permit totals in our 5-city region, again, we have thousands and thousands of lots. Great opportunity here, great opportunity. And so this is a market that is prime for the middle class, the missing middle. And we need housing of all types. I know the governor in Sacramento is really kind of fixed on low income, but we can't forget about those dual income families, that middle class, that opportunity for home ownership, and that is alive and well if we can get the lots off the shelf and get them into the queue here in this great region. So looking at the great opportunity here, back in 05 and 06, when you look at some of the issues that we've had here, roughly in the last, since 2008, on average of roughly 400 homes permits, 400 permit average as a 5-city region. We have to do better. And we know that there are things that are not on government per se. The market is the market, but there are policy levers that we can consider to improve upon this, frankly, anemic number. So when you look at, Jesus, Feria did that all by themselves in 2007. They beat the average. And that was just one city back in 07, much less a 10-year average for the entire region of 400 units. That equates to roughly one half of 1% growth annually. 1/2 of 1% is what we've been averaging the last 10 years. And that's what housing is coming into fruition. But the population is still growing by 7.5%. So People are still having children. People are still moving here. And when we see perhaps code enforcement having concerns about 5, 6 cars in a household, it's because there's 2 or 3 families maybe living there. And again, this is not just this region, it's systemic throughout our county. We have to do better. That's why we're 9th out of 58 counties on residential overcrowding, because population is growing 7.5%, but again, the housing is not keeping up at all, not even close. So again, I just highlighted that we're at that 7.5% population growth since 2010. We're anticipating 3.74%. These are the census numbers. Here in the region, we do have a young home buyer opportunity. Roughly almost 30% of first-time home buyers are between 20 and 39, and the median range in high desert is 33. So we're seeing that there's that opportunity for those that are in that upward mobility age that are looking to buy a home. They're here in this region, but there is a lack of availability here as well. So I know our realtor friends will talk about just the lack of supply, and so we're trying to replenish that as much as possible and get the economy moving in a better way here as well. So a couple of other quick snapshots for you all here. The average home cost is roughly $297,000 compared to the rest of the county at $514,000. That's great. However, I think there are some areas that we can look at as far as policies to help increase the numbers of closings and what's on the market. That's what this upcoming panel is going to be talking about. And just in closing, I want to just underscore, this really is not about a discussion of information and then we've had a great lunch and we go back to our day. We really look at this as a unique opportunity, a unique time and space where the landscape in Sacramento is changing. And SCAG is also looking to impress upon the pressures that they have on their regional transportation plan and their sustainable community strategies. Interestingly enough, sitting in some of those meetings now as a newly elected official in the city of Yorba Linda and seeing some of these discussions firsthand, and I look at this opportunity here in this region as prime for a spike. If we work together and look at some common sense solutions and policies and maybe some unintentional obstacles and barriers, I think we can work together. We need to do that. And so this luncheon really is just a launching point for those discussions. We would like to meet with each and every city in the next 30 to 45 days and really talk about, it's not a one-size-fits-all. We understand every city is unique. We want to come to the table with some ideas and some solutions and work in a collaborative way. So we look forward to doing that. Thank you so much.